Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with the Saw right here on Superlative Radio. And today, as I promised on the last episode with Loki, we're going to be talking about Black Widow.
Yes, we
which
are.
is why I got my Black Widow shirt on today.
That's right.
And
I got my black shirt on,
Yeah,
so
there you go.
yeah. So
we
I'm
got
there.
we got to see it over the weekend, and
Boy,
so
was that
if
good.
you haven't seen it, spoilers. Just that's your only
That's right.
warning.
Yeah.
Go watch it. Come back. Fantastic.
Awesome movie.
Fantastic movie.
Awesome
it really
movie.
was.
Thank you, by the way.
Oh yeah, me and Kim watched it. You and Denise
Yep,
watched
yep.
it. So, like
On his bill.
on my bill, yeah, it was the cheapest I've ever gone to the movies. But yeah, no, really, really phenomenal movie. Just watch the screen here. You'll see some really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be right. Yeah.
clips. But yeah, it was good.
What a great
great
movie.
Now the one thing is they said that they were going to have an old clip from Civil War that they were going to recycle and that they filmed but didn't put into Civil War that they were going to put in this movie that
didn't
was
see it.
of
Did
Robert
they?
Downey Jr.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't see that.
And they didn't have it, and
Yeah.
he's listed on the cast here. I have the cast list in front of me. Of course, the cast starred Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, as
Yeah.
we know. And
That's enough for me to watch it. I mean, just to see her. I mean, it was enough for me. Like, so well worth the money just to see her. So that's it
well
for
worth. You mean well worth my money just to to see her?
me. Well worth your money for me to get to see it. Yeah,
That's right.
See, this is why I like
especially
working
in that outfit, right?
Oh,
Is that it?
that's
Yeah,
why I like
thought
working
so.
with this guy. You
I
know,
thought that was it. So, of course, it also had her sister.
Only thing I have to
Yelena-
say, though, if I can interrupt, is he didn't take me out to dinner first, but
That's
it's okay.
right. Yeah. Yelena Belova, and she was played by Florence Pugh, or Pug. I'm not sure how you say that. How would you say that?
Actually, that name is,
Oh.
Tammy Wynette, the country singer?
Yeah.
That was her original last name,
So what is it?
Pugh.
Pugh. Okay, so I did say it right.
You did say it right.
Okay, and of course, it starred David Harbour as Red Guardian.
Yep.
Yeah, and it starred Rachel Weisz as Melina Weiss. Okay,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. She was
and
in a couple
it
movies.
starred Ray Winstone as Dreykov,
Yep.
and it starred Olga Kurlenko as the Taskmaster, and of course William Hurt as General Ross.
Yeah, he's getting old, boy.
Yeah.
What? Oh, did you? Oh, cool.
Now, of course, as we mentioned off air, I have some issues with the movie.
Yeah, you do.
I have some issues with our producer who just is making noise over there.
That's okay. He's allowed.
Yeah,
He's allowed.
not you.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
He doesn't stink up the place like Pongo, so
No.
I'll let it go. You can keep your job for another week, you. Yeah. But
man.
but overall, I thought it was a good movie. It wasn't quite what I was expecting.
No, you said that off air.
Yeah. I do have a few issues. But overall, I did think it was a good movie. It is certainly not the worst MCU movie, as I still believe Thor: The Dark World holds that title.
It'll take a lot to get out of that.
Thor: The Dark World is just not great. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it's better than that. I thought it was better than Ant-Man. Ant-Man was funnier, but I thought this was better than Ant-Man.
You didn't like Ant-Man?
Oh, I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Because I enjoyed that.
Like I would put Black Widow right in the middle rung of all the movies. Like it would be right in the middle somewhere.
Okay.
It's not up at the top of my favorites, not the bottom, but it's right in the middle.
All right. Okay.
Most of them. But overall, yeah, it was a good movie. And you said you really liked it.
Oh, loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
What did Denise think of it?
Denise loved it too. She
Yeah,
was
Kim
right
really
into
liked it too.
Yeah,
She thought it was really good.
Yeah.
And she really enjoyed it. And I did too. I just, I have issues because, of course, being the comic geek that I am, there's things I know from the comics that didn't translate into the movie.
You see,
well.
now that I can appreciate,
So those are my issues. But
Yeah.
it wasn't that they're bad. It's just what they did.
well,
So
I can empathize with what you're saying because, like, just to give you a very quick example, like when I first watched Walk the Line and I saw things that were not the way that it should be. It
Right.
pretty much ruined the movie for me.
Oh, yeah. Well, this didn't ruin the movie for me.
You see, I did, because just watching it, like, from the very first time they made the first movie, I went, oh, come on. Like, if you're not going to stick to the script and you're not going to, if you're giving me a biopic, for God's sake, give me a biopic. Like, give me his life. Don't give me this Hollywood crap that you're throwing in there to make it.
Yeah, they did that. They did that with Bohemian Rhapsody. Too,
Yeah,
right?
and you're going, this is
Freddie
not.
Mercury. They just
Yeah, you're
did
going,
what
this
they
is
want.
not what this is not what you said it is. Call it a, based on a true story, or based, that I know I'm going and go, okay, so things are going to, but you're saying to me, this is what it is, and it's not. And I went through, I'm like, no. And to this day, I mean, if it comes on TV or something, I'll watch it and I'll kind of go, yeah, and I see now why I didn't like it. But Reese Witherspoon, I will praise until the day I die, because she nailed June Carter perfectly, made me tear up. It was so good.
Yeah.
The rest of it, sorry.
I like her. She's a phenomenal actress.
Well, she's from Nashville. She's born there,
Yeah.
so I guess that helps. But
And she's
still,
not hard to look at. Either,
No,
so.
no, she's definitely not.
So I mean, it's pretty easy to watch a movie with her in it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you turn the volume off, it's still good.
That's right, because she's there, exactly. So,
No,
but seriously, yes.
but-
so
yeah,
I
in all
understand
seriousness,
where
she
you're
is a
coming
good
from.
actress,
Yeah,
but
but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So
it's like that. It's not that my issues with it were that it was a bad movie. It's just some of the things they did didn't
translate.
They just didn't fit with what should have been, I guess, from the comics.
Okay.
But otherwise, I like.
They didn't
I like
stick to the
movie.
script.
I like how it picked up basically right after Civil War. And it filled in the gap between Civil War and just before she went off to join Captain America and rescuing Falcon
Yeah, it
and
was
everybody
sort of-
from
that's
the
right,
raft
exactly,
at
yeah.
the end of that movie.
Yeah, that's
So, I thought it was overall, I thought it was a good movie.
So here's the question: on 10, what do you give this one?
7.
Oh, okay, all right. Actually, that's better than I thought you were. I thought you were going to say 6. Okay.
No, like I said, middle of the road for me. So it's in the 5 to 7 range. So I'd give it a 7. It was better than some of
Okay.
the others.
All right.
Because I mean, I put Ant-Man at a solid 6.
Yeah. That's where I thought you were going to throw this one.
So,
Okay, good.
Well,
Well, that says for him. That's something.
So I mean, I liked it. It was good.
He's a fussy guy, so
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way: the first Thor movie, I would put at a 5. Right?
Okay. Wow. Really?
So,
okay.
To put Ant-Man and Black Widow both above them.
Yeah, that says something.
You
Yeah,
know,
for
like-
sure.
So, I mean, it doesn't come anywhere near my top favorite, which is Avengers.
Right.
And I mean, that's
Well-
straight at a 15 on a scale of 10.
Yeah. That's way up there.
And
for
then,
you.
then of course, Infinity War is probably another one of my real favorites. So that's like at a 10 too. Like it's,
Okay.
it's just it's there. It's a good movie. It's just not
As good.
as good as
Yeah,
it could have been, I
exactly.
guess. But overall,
Okay.
it had a lot of action. It had a lot of action. It had some comedy. I thought it was really funny watching him try to squeeze into the Red Guardian costume again.
That was funny. Yeah. Still fits.
Zipping it up. Still fits.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
What? It still fits?
Yeah. It was great.
Just give me more vodka.
Yeah. It was so well done.
Yeah, it was. It was really good. I thought it was really cool how they switched between the woman who had portrayed her mother and her.
Yeah.
When they
was
did
really-
that switch,
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool how they had flipped that.
Rachel Weisz.
Yeah, and they had flipped their who they were by with the face masks
That's right.
and stuff.
Yeah. It was well done too.
I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, just lots of really interesting things and how they did it.
But you had said that the was originally a guy, not a girl.
The Taskmaster.
Taskmaster. Thank you. Yeah. So that was.
So in the comics, and I'm sure everybody that knows the comics.
See, I
knows
didn't know
this,
that until you said it.
Taskmaster is an Avengers villain, and he has the same ability that she had in this movie, which is she can mimic anybody's fighting style. Now, I can see that they can, what the Taskmaster can do, and I've seen that from the comics too. I have the same issue with what I'm going to say in the comics as I do with the movie. In the comics, he can shoot an arrow just as good as Hawkeye. In the movie, she could shoot an arrow just as good as Hawkeye. Nobody can shoot an arrow just as good as Hawkeye. It doesn't matter who they are. And the reason for that comes from practice and skill. you can copy somebody's movements, but it doesn't mean you're going to fire an arrow or gun as well as they do. So while the Taskmaster might be able to copy how they pull back the string on a bow and how they maneuver the bow around, they're still not going to be as good of a shot with it as he would be.
So that doesn't translate for you.
It doesn't translate for me. The other thing was throwing the shield like Captain America. When they were going into the they were going into the subway and they slid down, the shield came over them and it embedded itself in the concrete. Now, the thing about that is the only person who has a vibranium shield is Captain America. That's it. Nobody else does. So that would have implicated that was vibranium then. Yeah, it would implicate that is vibranium, especially considering there's no way that without super soldier serum, she could have thrown that shield as well as Captain America would have to do that, to embed itself in the wall like that. Right, exactly. So because Captain America has enhanced super strength. He can whip a shield, and because it's vibranium, it will embed itself into concrete like that. Right. Whereas the other one can't do that. Whereas a regular shield wouldn't. Even if it was titanium, like I said, it would not have stuck to the wall. It still would have bounced off. Yeah, exactly. It would have dented the wall. It would whatever. Yeah. Captain America might have been able to get a titanium shield to embed itself in a wall. But even his vibranium shield would have bounced off of it. Yeah. It never would have embedded itself in the wall like that. Funny, but that's a good point. So that's the thing. Is it implied that she had a vibranium shield, which is impossible, and it implied that she could throw it as hard and as accurately as Captain America, which again is not. She can't. Yeah. She might be able to throw it in the same manner by studying how he throws the shield, which would allow her some level of accuracy, like it would with the bow or a gun. But it wouldn't allow for the same skill level that he had with it. So that was a misnomer. Yeah. So I wasn't happy with that, and I wasn't happy with the fact that they made it Dreykov's daughter. That was an original story? Not because it was a woman, but because it wasn't who the Taskmaster is. So in the comics, that's not who the Taskmaster is. And at the same time, if they were going to change it for the movie, which is fine, I don't have issues with them necessarily changing characters from male to female or whatever. What I have issue with is at the end, they hit her with that gas red gas, and it freed her from his mind control or whatever it was. So the Taskmaster won't return as a villain, right? Whereas he does? Whereas in the comics, Taskmaster is a villain because he's a villain. Like, he's not a good guy. So he can come back. So they've cut him off at the past. So they've cut this villain off as ever returning. And I hate when they do that. Like, they've only really allowed Loki to be a recurring villain, it seems. And it would be nice to see other villains that are recurring villains. Okay. You know, that's why I like Spider-Man Homecoming, is because they didn't kill Michael Keaton's Vulture. That means that we're going to see Michael Keaton's Vulture again, which we're supposed to in the Morbius movie. Oh, really? Yeah, and supposed to in the next Spider-Man movie, supposedly. So I like that, you know, when they don't kill a villain, then we get to see it again, right? Like maybe, we may not, because they have so many villains to go through, we may never, but the chance, the possibility is always there. If you kill the villain, then you can't bring it back. Right. And I don't like that aspect. I don't like killing a villain just for the sake of killing it when you can't bring it back. Sounds reasonable. Now, I mean, it's fine if they make it look like the villain died, like I'm guessing they did with Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home. I think they made it look like Mysterio was killed, but I think actually he really wasn't, because I think they're going to bring him back when they do their Sinister Six thing. So, you know, so Black Widow, I didn't have a problem with them switching necessarily the gender. It didn't fit because, of course, it derailed who the Taskmaster completely was. That means they'll have to take it on another track then. I think it would have been better if they had just made the Taskmaster somebody Dreykov had hired, like a mercenary that he had hired to do his thing and get the chemical back or whatever. Like that would have been better to me. I don't think it would have made any. So it didn't add to the story, basically. No, to me, it wouldn't have changed anything if they had done it that way. All right. Okay. Interesting concept. I thought that it was really cool the way they introduced Red Guardian, because as soon as I saw him and they were escaping, and I was like, okay. And when he lifted that trailer and threw it, I was like, he's got super soldier serum.
Well, yeah.
And I'm like, how the hell did he get super soldier serum? And then when they explained that he was actually Russian, I was like, Winter Soldier program.
Yeah.
That was where they must have gotten some super soldier serum, was from that. Somehow and given it to him. But yeah, so I mean, the fact that he had that, and honestly, like, I don't care how well Taskmaster could mimic his fighting style when the two of them were fighting.
Yeah.
He had super soldier serum. He'd have won hands down.
So they really screwed that one up too.
It just doesn't matter. You can fight just as you can have the same fighting style and the same fighting moves, but we all know if you have two people who have the exact same fighting style, the stronger and faster one is the one who's going to win.
Yeah.
That's just basic combat.
That's right. Yeah.
Anybody will tell you that somebody who is stronger and faster than you is going to beat you.
Yeah.
There's the chance that if they're just stronger, they might not beat you. You might be able to outdo them in speed, but
when you got things going,
super soldier serum gives you enhanced endurance, enhanced durability, enhanced agility, enhanced stamina, and it gives you enhanced agility, dexterity, and enhanced strength.
So you should win hands down.
You're faster, you're tougher, and you're stronger than your opponent. If they can fight exactly like you, shouldn't make a difference.
That's right. Yep.
They're going to win because they are stronger, faster, whatever, right?
Yep.
Like, that's why.
That makes sense.
So that didn't make, even though he was fat, again.
Or fat than yeah.
You know, even though he's faster and all that, and it doesn't matter. Like, he's just because he's fatter. I mean,
the serum should make the difference.
It's still going to make a difference because, well, and first of all, he wouldn't become fat because the super soldier serum
would keep him thin.
Right, because it keeps your metabolism going
at a higher rate.
Like, look at in Falcon and the Winter Soldier when they showed the Super Patriot guy.
Yeah,
right? The old Isaac, the black fella.
He was thin.
He wasn't thin. He was still buff.
Well, I'm just saying.
He was still
okay. I'm just saying
because even though he was old, because the serum would have kept him that way.
Yeah,
and you know, unless there's something different about the Russian version of the serum, I can't see it.
That's cute. Yeah, but yeah, it's
you know.
So,
but anyway, other than that, I mean, the movie is it's great. Phenomenal. I mean, hands down, it's a good movie. Interestingly enough, when we cut briefly for you to take the dogs out, I checked IMDb, and IMDb, you asked me before, I looked at it, you said, what would I give it?
Yeah.
And I said, I give it a 7 out of 10. IMDb, it has a 7.1 out of 10.
There you go. See?
So that's really funny that I was like,
that's good.
It has
Who's right on the money?
It has a 91% audience reaction as liking it. It's got an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, I mean, like, it's got good ratings.
Can't go wrong with that.
It's made $150-some million worldwide since Friday.
Wow.
It is the biggest opening movie that's happened during the entire pandemic.
Wow. Okay.
So, you know, I mean, it's obvious that people are itching to get back to seeing Marvel movies.
Yep.
So, you know, and it's got excellent reviews. I mean, aside from the jokers that like to point out everything.
Right, exactly. You know, the haters, but, you know,
but like,
don't worry about them.
Yeah, not a bad movie.
Good.
You know, so like,
overall, it's getting good reviews.
Yeah, like I said, and so getting back to the movie and what we had talked about before the show, I had mentioned that I was upset at some of the things we talked about Taskmaster.
Yeah. What else?
Well, the other thing is that I was disappointed that they didn't show how she got away from General Ross at the end.
Yeah, that's right. They cut right away, didn't they?
Like, you know, of course, like, you know, Lexi and Yelena and they got away with the other widows, right?
That's right.
And she said she's going to wait, and she was waiting for Ross and all of the
that's right.
dudes
they all
to
hopped
drive
on the thing
up.
and went, and she stayed. Yeah, that's right.
They didn't show how she got away, but then the next time we see her, she's in her blonde hair and green and black vested outfit that we see her in Infinity War, just before she goes off to help Steve rescue Falcon and Ant-Man and everybody from the
But they didn't show us how they.
They didn't show us how she got there, and then they didn't show us that. I was like, man.
Yeah, that's.
But And of course, like I said, Robert Downey Jr. was supposed to make an appearance in an old clip that they were supposed to reuse that had been shot but never used in Civil War, and they didn't do that.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so a couple of little things. The other thing is her buddy that was getting her all the stuff. I would love to know how he was able to steal a Quinjet from, Avengers headquarters. I'd love to know how he did that without Iron Man, coming down on him. I'd like, how did he even get that? Like, but
They didn't show that either.
No,
Yeah.
they didn't
don't show how
how-
he gets anything, really.
yeah,
So.
just he does procure things.
Yeah.
But apparently he's somebody who used to be in Shield, I guess. So
He has an in there. So
yeah, maybe that's how. I don't know, but it's it was interesting. Like they're little nitpicks. They're not big. It's just things I wish they had shown that they didn't. So the only nitpick I have was really about the Taskmaster and how they messed it up with doing things that they. Had I said, had they just made it. They could have even made it a female Taskmaster. Had they just made it somebody that was hired by Dreykov,
it would have been okay.
It would have been way better.
Yeah.
Even if that person had been hired by him and then and brainwashed in the same way, fine. But to make it his daughter and everything, it just turned out to be too I guess, cliche.
It didn't fit.
Didn't fit.
Yeah,
It just was,
I follow that.
So, I guess that's,
But still, it's a 7. So
yeah, I thought it was a good movie. Of course, the after the credit scene, if you don't know, there is only one end of the credit scene, which is the first time they've only done one in a long time. Like,
but they did it, so at least it's there.
Well, no, I think they only did one with Endgame as well. Come to think of it, but yeah, or no, maybe no. They ended it with just ended Endgame with only one as well, just Iron Man's hammer banging. There wasn't actually any credit scene, but anyway, they only have one, and it's
she's at the grave.
Yelena is visiting Natasha's grave, and of course, we see what's her face, Elaine from Seinfeld. Why can't I had her name? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, the one from Falcon and the Winter Soldier who recruits
You okay there?
Oh, frig, why can't I remember his name either? The guy who was Captain America recruits him.
What was her name? Romanoff? No, it's Natasha Romanoff. Now you got me thinking. Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. It's going to come to me at the strangest time. But anyway, so she's meeting up with Yelena, and it's almost as if Yelena is already working for her because she says, "You're not supposed to bother me when I'm on vacation."
Yeah.
Which, okay, is really interesting. I was like, interesting that they're doing that. So
she's taking over?
Well, she's building her own Avengers, right?
Okay.
Like she's building like her own like kind of Avengers team. And I guess they're all going to kind of be like dark. She's not a good person. Like I said, in the comics, she's known as Madam Hydra.
Right.
And she's a member of Hydra.
So you said that a couple weeks ago.
Now, I don't know if they're going to bring that over as her being part of Hydra, or maybe she was part of Hydra, and when it collapsed in S.H.I.E.L.D., then she went off to do her own thing, maybe. I don't know. But, But it's, there is a connection there. And that's how they've tied it to, of course, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So, and they're tying it to Hawkeye because she's sending Yelena after.
You said that too,
after
yeah.
Hawkeye,
yeah.
so
yeah.
Yeah, so it is interesting. But if you haven't seen the end credit scene, there's only the one. Just watch all the way through the credits, and
it'll be there at the end.
Or do what I did on Disney Plus and
just fast forward through it. Yeah. That's what I did.
Skip right to the end.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so.
Well, we'll find
Do you have
out.
a favorite part?
Well, when it comes right down to it, my favorite part of all movies that I see is when the bad guy gets his comeuppance.
Yeah.
Because that's the way I wish the real world was.
So when the helicopter blows up,
when he blows up, I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
You know, another one gets it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He definitely deserved it. Dreykov was a bad
did he
guy,
ever.
man.
Yeah.
He was a bad dude.
I wish all bad guys got their asses blown off. But
he definitely deserved it. He was a bad dude.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's my favorite part. Just seeing the bad guys get what they deserve.
I think my favorite part was trying to watch Red Guardian squeeze into that outfit again and then coming out.
Well, that was funny.
Still fits.
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome because it was so funny.
It was.
Right? It was just like, to me, it was like, that's funny. That's good. That's a good spot.
So yeah, that's my fart. That's
Natasha, don't slouch.
Yeah.
I don't slouch.
Yeah.
You're going to get humping back. I don't slouch.
Yeah.
That was
it was
funny.
typical family crap.
Yeah, it was just that whole scene was just funny.
Sitting
right?
at the table with all the
That whole scene was just funny. I thought it was really good, but yeah.
But anyway, there you go. Yeah,
and then
I
of
enjoyed
course
it.
I thought it was funny how they didn't keep him in the loop, and then he's like, "Natasha, I want to tell you, you don't have any.
You don't have. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
you weren't part of that. How come I wasn't in on the plan?
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny too. There was a lot of good stuff there. Like it was really good. I was happy with it. It was a good movie.
But yeah, check it out. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
You'll
go
enjoy
give it a watch. I think you'll really like it.
And let us know what you think too.
For sure, definitely. And what would you give it out of 10?
There you go.
Are
yeah,
you
tell us.
Are you right there around where me is as a 7 and where IMDb has it, or what? Or are you like more of an 8 out of 10, like Rotten Tomatoes, or a 9 out of 10, like
I would have
Google
given it
has
an 8. I would have
Well,
given it an 8.
see, you're on board with IMDb's rating. I'm with, or not IMDb's.
No.
You're with Rotten Tomatoes version,
Yeah.
and
I give it an
Google
8.
has it at a 9.1, and I have it at a 7. So
okay, where do you sit in there?
yeah, where do you
let
sit
us
at
know.
it? What do you think of it? What was your favorite part?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just really, really cool.
Give us your feedback, and we'd like to know where we sit with your.
Yeah, and of course, if you're lucky, you can go find yourself one of these really awesome Black Widow.
That's right,
somewhere.
exactly.
Thank you, Kim.
Or for all intent and purpose,
Kim
you could
didn't just get me one; she got me 2. So that if this one wears out, I still have another.
Well,
one.
there you go.
So,
but you see, at the same time, they could go to our site and get our
hey,
shirts.
that's right. You can go get yourself a Let's Talk with the Saw shirt.
That's right, exactly.
Or if you're a girl, you can get a skirt or a dress
or
if you
whatever,
want, or a shirt as well.
Yeah, that's right.
You can get sweaters. You can get face masks.
All kinds of stuff.
All kinds of cool stuff there. So check
all
it
kinds
out.
of stuff on our website. Check it out, and you can be walking around with a Let's Talk thing.
That's right. And be cool. So otherwise, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the movie. What about you? Anything?
You covered what I had to say.
I thought it was good. Fantastic action, good comedy,
and Pongo liked it too.
Yeah.
Talked.
It gave us a little bit into the backstory of who Natasha was, which I liked. Because she's easily been one of my favorite characters in the Avengers movies. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, let us know what you think and comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check out our other channels. You can get to all of them through the
superlativeradio.com.
Superlativeradio.com, or you can get them through the link above, which is other channels.
Yep.
And we will see you guys for another episode of Let's Talk with the Saw later this week for the last and final episode of Loki.
Yep. So we'll be
see
there
you
for
then.
that too.
All right. Catch you guys later.
Stay healthy.